Hello.
Hello.
I'm Irene De Jesus.
And I'm Hector De Jesus.
And we are the De Jesus Lager. And this is the Noon Show.
Because it's noon somewhere in the world.
Now, just like literally 30 seconds ago, I heard this big snore, trying to figure out what that was. It's one of our dogs at our feet. Snoring,
Dog.
sound asleep. Yep, the hound dog, sound asleep. So if he wakes up in the middle of this, we'll know. But anyway, all right, let's get down to brass tacks. Can you do our disclaimer for us?
Yes, we are attorneys. However, we're not necessarily your attorneys. However, that can be remedied by a phone call or just reaching out to us. This is informational and educational purposes only.
Ooh, nice job. Very good. All right, and then anything that we're discussing today on our show, Wynn will have links for, of course. If you need to get a hold of us, she'll have links in the chat box. If you've got any questions about the topic that we're talking about and you'd like to ask it while we're on air, absolutely, please do. We'd love to chat with you. So Wynn will be managing all that and let us know when there's any questions in there. So that's pretty exciting. And March, what do we got? Okay, so it's March. Holy moly, it's March. So this is the month that we're going to be celebrating caregivers, right? It's the whole month.
Yep.
And if you book a family wealth planning session,
you get a massage.
You're going to get a massage gift card, right? What's a family wealth planning session, Hector?
It's an hour and a half, 2 hour meeting where you do a little bit of homework, and you sit down with one of us or both of us and really just kind of map out what it is that you want to have happen should something happen to you. And then we look at what you have and see if there are any gaps. What are some of the opportunities? And it's really educational.
Yep. It's fun. It's great. I love doing it. Now, I don't think we've ever had anybody sit down with the two of us.
No.
That might be a little intimidating, two attorneys. I don't know. But yes, either one of us, wherever you want, it works great. So if you book that family wealth planning session in the month of March, you will get a massage gift card. Oh my goodness, we have Wine and Wills coming up.
On the 16th?
Yeah, less than 2 weeks away, right? So on March the 16th, Tuesday, and it'll be at 6:30 p.m., it's going to be at one of our favorite chiropractors' office, Dr. Ariel and Dr. Wes Williams. They have their Pioneer Chiropractic office. It's in New Smyrna Beach on 44, right by is it the Verizon or?
It's a Sprint, I believe.
I always think it's Verizon. Whatever. The Wynn will have the link to be able to register for that. The seating is limited. They're definitely limited seating for that one. We will have an amazing special guest there who's going to be doing wine testing or wine tasting, not testing. Wine tasting with really, really very good wine. So that'll be fun. And so if that's something you and your spouse or your partner want to partake in, please do. That should be a lot of fun. But like I said, Wynn will put all that into the chat box there. All right. What our topic today? March is also Developmental Disabilities Awareness Month. And if you've had a chance to look at our blog, or maybe you haven't, that's one of the things you might want to go read. It's all about special needs trusts. And that's a topic that's really near and dear to us because as estate planning attorneys that take care of families, there's these families that may have a child that has disabilities. They've got a tough road to hoe, right? They've got a lot of challenges, including future planning to make sure that those loved ones, their children, don't really fall into the horrible trap of losing their governmental benefits, right? If something happens to their parents. So let's really talk about that. Hector, would you mind explaining really what is a special needs trust?
So special needs trust, it's an estate planning tool, but it's designed to protect the financial assets. So if there's either life insurance policy or an inheritance that someone that has special needs, they may be receiving Medicaid or some form of government subsidy. It's a way for them not to get that money and be kicked out of the program.
So that's something that we see where the parents have really done some amazing work, right? To do the planning and put in place special needs trusts when something happens to the parents for their disabled child, so that they're protected. And then some really well-meaning family member, could be great grandma, could be whoever, doesn't realize that if they leave an inheritance to this child they'll kick them out of having government benefits. I mean, it's a really, really big deal.
Yeah,
right?
I always explain it just using an example of, let's say, The Simpsons. So Bart, Lisa, and Maggie. But let's just say one of the aunts leaves the kids money, and Bart has a disability and he's getting Social Security, or he's getting.
Oh, I could see Bart having a disability. Okay, yeah.
But what would happen is, let's say they each got $100,000. Well, Lisa and Maggie could do whatever they want with that $100,000, but Bart would have to use that $100,000 to pay for his care until that's gone. Then he'll lose his
benefits that he currently has.
And then once that's gone, then he'll be able to apply again.
Yeah.
So it's really not fair, because 2 out of the 3 kids could do whatever they want with it, and one has to spend it down. So if you do a special needs trust, that money would go for supplemental care.
Yep.
So he wouldn't lose his benefits.
Things that his benefits are not covering right now, right? His or her benefits that are not covering right now, that would be above and beyond, that would really give great quality, right? Great quality of life. So that's one of the things that we do when we sit down with you in that 2-hour session, is we're really looking at your entire family, right? We're looking at your whole family tree and seeing what is it that you really need and where are your gaps to help you with that.
Yeah, and one of the things that's important too is, if you do have a child or you have someone that has a disability, you want to make sure that family members understand, hey, if you ever leave any kind of inheritance, do so
this is how you do it.
Yeah, and then that way
Step 1, 2, 3.
Right, they don't inadvertently do something. Because even if let's say an aunt left someone the money and they go, no, I don't want it, the government will basically say, it doesn't matter. We're going to step in your shoes and say you have to get it and pay us back.
Exactly. So another thing that reminds me, there's another thing that we do that's just routine, part of our planning, is your family may not have anyone that has special needs
at the time of planning.
But one of the things that we always put into our estate planning documents is the contingency. What if in the future one of your family, one of your beneficiaries, does end up needing disabled, right? Needing a special needs trust. So we do put that language in there because we don't have a crystal ball, right? We don't know. So Hector, I was about to say babe. Well, you are my babe. So Hector, what is the difference between simple wills or trust? How is a special needs trust different than a simple will or a trust, a revocable living trust?
Well, with a let's say a revocable living trust, you can plan for your assets and it'll go down to the beneficiaries.
It avoids probate. Right? It's great.
Right.
Love them.
But the special needs trust is really designed to protect that person who has a disability. And kind of like what we were talking before, it kind of bled into this, is it's a vehicle that allows that inheritance to go to someone that has a disability without causing them to lose their benefits.
Exactly. And we could get into a whole lot of detail here, like the difference between a first party special needs trust and a third party special needs trust, a pooled special needs trust. But that's really not the scope of this conversation today. That's definitely something, though, that we will talk with our families about if it's appropriate, right? If you have that need. So I think at this point, we could keep talking about this. However, I think we've explained it really well. So, the last question would be, who would someone be that would need this? I think we've really discussed that well. If you already know that you've got a family member or a beneficiary that you would be leaving your assets to that is currently getting government benefits, You want to make sure that there's language in your documents that this person will inherit it through a special needs trust, right? Same thing. What if you're elderly and you are, you're well, but your spouse is likely going to need long-term care planning, right? How do you make sure for your spouse who may end up in a nursing home when you're gone, how do you make sure they don't lose their government benefits and qualify for them? So we do that as well, right? We do that kind of planning as well. It's not just special needs. Sometimes feels like it's only for the very young, but it's not. It actually spans the entire age bracket, right? Just like you say, birth to earth.
Yeah, we recently, met with someone that they're looking exactly at that. One of the parents is probably needing to go to nursing home pretty quick, and the other parent is not far behind, but still would be a community spouse. And then the issue becomes, well, what happens if you qualify one and they're in the home, and then the other one passes away, a year into it? Now,
how do you protect?
Yeah, how do you protect it? And when I was speaking with these folks, they had a will, and that's all well and good, but it won't do anything in that situation. It'll actually cause issues because in Florida you have an elective share, so that person automatically gets.
Slow down. So what's an elective share?
That's where if you're married, one spouse can't say, I'm gonna disinherit, I'm gonna leave.
Oh, yeah, you can't disinherit a spouse in Florida. Can't do it.
So the state basically has a law that says a spouse can, if they're left out, they can take their 30% minimum.
Yeah.
And so the issue with that, though, is you have someone that's in a nursing home and a community spouse, and they all of a sudden die. That means that any assets, the home, stuff like that,
everything,
is going to come back. And then disqualify that person that's in the home. That's why that's a special needs trust that you can build.
That is right there,
within a will. But a lot of people, unless they practice elder law, really understand Medicaid, don't know that. And that's what happened in this situation. They did, elder care planning, but it's not very good.
It was going to fail.
Yeah.
That was definitely going to fail.
Yeah.
Well, on that happy note, so I think we'll end there. And just as a reminder, our March special that we've got going on is if you book a family wealth planning session in the month of March, you do a little bit of homework, right? You get to talk with one of us for up to 2 hours. That right there is a bonus, I think. You'll also get a gift card for a massage, right? For a massage therapist. And then Wine and Wills, that is coming up in just under 2 weeks. You have to make sure you register for it if it's something that really interests you. So we're going to be talking about really Wills 101, right? What is a will? What is a trust? What documents do I need? What kind of protection do I need? How do I protect my families? So it's going to be really, really good. And then wine tasting. So that's going to be a lot of fun. You must register for that one because there's very limited seating on that one. We want to make sure that we're respectful of social distancing and all of those precautions. So yeah, get your once it fills up, it's done. That one's over with. So the links will all be in the chat box and
or on our website too.
Or on our website. Yeah, there'll be links there. It'll take you right there to register. Anything else? No, other than you guys have an amazing weekend. And we will be traveling tomorrow. And we'll be back in Eastern Standard Time Zone tomorrow night. Yay! All right, y'all. Bye.
Go Cubs.